All right, here we go. It's Monday morning. It's 4 a.m. I'm Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. Why should you give a shit what I think? Well, I did write a book, and I suppose that makes, I don't know, people think that's awesome. Hey, you wrote a book. Hey, good job, bud. Hey, it could be full of bullshit. You're going to have to read it to find out. Go buy it. See if I'm full of shit. Anyway, it's the Travis Neville Podcast. It's Monday mornings, 4 a.m. And I mean, I was thinking about, how the podcast is kind of morphing itself into a much more of a positive thing, like helping you, like the book's about getting through something real difficult, right? And the steps I take when I get into something real tough to dig myself out of it. And, the podcast has kind of become about dealing with life when you're not dealing with something tough most of the time, like just how to make your life better, how to move forward rather than picking up the pieces. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's still important to kind of talk about that, being down and how to deal with it. So I was looking through some of the articles that I've written on LinkedIn, and I'm not hard to find on there. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I think I've written like 50 some articles over the last, 5-6 years. And, shit, it's crazy how some of the shit actually ended up in my book. I didn't realize it. Like, I just was kind of polishing the thoughts then, and now anyway, one of these things that I wrote about on LinkedIn years ago was about what you learn from failure. And I did a lot of research on it, and I've done a lot of research since, and I thought that might be worth talking about. So that's what we're going to deal with here today. I want to talk about what are the hidden gems. What are the kick-ass positives that come out of being flat on your back. I mean, and I know that it's tough to see that stuff. I know that it's tough to not just stare at the negative, when you're in the middle of some shit, but it's helpful. So let's just dig in. Here's the first thing that you're going to be able to do when you go through something real bad. And I'll tell you, just kind of give you a quick recap. I went through high school, and I did quote unquote all the right stuff. I never got in trouble. I didn't really drink. I didn't sneak out of the house. Like, I did all that shit right. Like, my parents were good parents, and I hung out with good guys and girls who were like-minded, and so we just really didn't get in a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? Pretty much none, actually. And then I went to college. I did the thing you're supposed to go to college. I went and did that and got through that okay, and and I bought a house, and I got married. I did all these things, and I can remember having this idea in my head that I was kind of trying to like defend the perfection, right? Like, you're expected to get through life and do everything right, and you can't make mistakes. You can't fuck up, right? And I remember that being a kind of stress. We're trying to. It's like having an undefeated football season. You're 7-0, and you're not as excited about winning as you are nervous about. You got to make sure you don't lose. So it's a whole different kind of stress anyway. And then in 2012. You guys know a bunch of shit kind of imploded on me, and I got divorced, got arrested, all that shit. And after that, though, man, it was like a catharsis almost. Like, once the dust settled and I kind of got my shit together, I looked around, I'm like, well, I already fucked up real bad. Like, I don't have to worry about that perfect game anymore. Fuck, I can just play football. I can just live my life and do whatever the fuck I want to do, whatever I think would be cool or fun or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you that I learned that lesson, that you're not going to be perfect. And I accepted it. I said, you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with fucking up. You know what I mean? It's not a shot on me. As a matter of fact, I'd say if you make it through your whole life, you never make any big mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. I mean, truly. Like, when do you make mistakes? When you're in a workout or something, or you're competing, you're going to try to do some shit you've never done. That's when you fail. I was running my fastest when I tripped over a hurdle. You know what I mean? So if you never fall, it's probably because you're not going fast enough. You're not trying enough shit. And I try to live my life like that now. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I like taking fucking chances and doing some shit that nobody else would do. And let's see how it goes, man. Let's see how the chips fall. Once you get that big mistake out of the way, once you fucked up, you get divorced or lose your job or some shit, you can be like, all right, cool, blank fucking slate, man. I already fucked up real bad. So that pressure goes away. You know what I mean? So that's one great thing that comes out of fucking up, okay? Out of ending up on your back, however you define that. Yeah, I still make huge mistakes, okay? But I just don't make the same mistake over and over again, unless you consider it a mistake that, like I said, I like to take chances, I like to take risks. I mean, I don't like to gamble, like actually technically gamble. But in life I do. I love fucking buying stocks. It's awesome. Like, I could lose a shit ton of money, but I could make a fuckload. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm not putting my mortgage payment in there. It's all extra money, savings and shit like that. But I'm excited as fuck to look at the stock market. It's fucking cool. That shit could just, one day it could go up 20%. That's money that you didn't have to do shit for other than take a chance. And I would really encourage you to do that. Look for places where, start small. I don't know what your risk tolerance is, but take shots in life, For me, I'll meet a girl and she's, she's really young or whatever the fucking situation is. Fuck, I don't know. It might work out. You never know. Let's fucking see. You know what I mean? Let's give it a shot. Buy a motorcycle. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like, taking risks for me is fun. And I'm always, pretty smart about it. But I love that idea. And that comes from failing. Once you failed, it's like Jordan Peterson talks about it. One of his 12 rules for life is to not fuck with kids on skateboards when they're skateboarding. Like, don't be the one who, you guys will hurt yourselves. Don't be that guy. Stay off my lawn. Don't be that guy. Not that anybody skates on people's lawns, but because those kids, they're going to go out there and they're going to fucking fall down. They're going to fall down a bunch of times. And what they're going to learn is falling down ain't so fucking bad. Hurts for a minute, and then you get back up and you're okay. And you can do lots of great shit when you're no longer afraid of falling down. Because you've been there and it ain't that bad. And that's what happens once you've fucked up. You learn that. You're not going to be perfect. And failing ain't so bad. So there's one big thing you'll learn. Here's the thing that you'll learn too. You are far more resourceful than you think. Okay? It's crazy to me. Like, let's just talk about money. When I was going through college, I paid for it myself. I didn't have any support from my parents. It's just situational. No knock on them. But it's just the way it was. So, I did all the things I had to do to get money, and I found ways to make $10. I found ways to make $5. I remember finding an ATM machine in Marquette where I went to college that you could take out money in increments of $5 instead of 10 or 20. I think it's 20 now, right? $5 withdrawals, which meant that if I had $8 in my account, I could still go get 5 of it in the middle of the night if I needed it. Probably just going to get a beer or whatever. But you get resourceful. You find fucking shit. You could, depending on where you are in your life, if you're financially fucked, do you have a 401k that you could pull some cake from? Do you have a life insurance policy? A lot of times those have cash value. You can pull some of it out. You got to stash a change in a bucket somewhere. Put gas in your car if you need it. You know what I mean? Get you to Friday. Get you to payday. You got some shit that you could sell on Craigslist or eBay. With the idea that I'll buy another one or a nicer, newer one, whatever it is, when things are going better. Like I said, you could get pretty fucking resourceful when you need to be. We found this place. There was a donut and bread shop in the college town we went. My buddy Brian and I knew what time of night they'd bag up all their day old donuts and bread and muffins and shit, and they just chuck them in the dumpster, and we would fucking just wait and watch them dump them and go in there and grab these fucking grocery bags, paper grocery bags, full of delicious goodness for free. Like, I mean, that's the kind of shit you got to do if you're trying to get a desired outcome. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes. And dumpster diving for me, I wasn't above it. And honestly, that experience, that's a form of being on your back, right? You're down. It's made me better because I know that no matter how bad it gets, I'll make it. You know, if I have to dumpster dive, I will. I've done it. Not that bad. Those donuts were delicious, and so were those muffins. Thank you, Donut Hole, Marquette, Michigan. Yeah, so that's a big one. You'll figure out how resourceful you are. You'll figure out how many friends you have that can take you up someplace, or you can lean on if it's an emotional tragedy that you're going through, that you can call and they'll come and just sit with you and talk or whatever. You've got a lot of deposits that you've made in various types of banks. You know, if you need money, you got an actual bank. You know, you're putting deposits in relationship banks as well your whole life, helping people out, being their friend when they need it, so that when you're down, you don't have to feel bad about calling them and saying, bro, I need you to come hang out with me. Or let's go fucking have a beer, you know? See what I mean? Like, you start pulling back those, you know, withdrawing from those deposits you've made. And again, you'll find that you're very resourceful. You really are. And when you're down and you're frantic about it, you'll come up with some solutions. You will. Another thing you'll learn when you're on your back, when you have failed at something, is that the most impressive people, most of the most successful people, they've been exactly where the fuck you are. You know what I mean? I can remember being at I think it's Jimmy John's. There was a sign on the wall, and they got all these crazy signs and shit. And one of them says, "Are you willing to live like no one else will for a year?" I think it says, or whatever. Are you willing to live like no one else will, so that after that time you can live how no one else can? I fucking loved that, dude. I was talking to this young guy. He was over here fixing my HVAC system. My fucking air conditioning's on the fritz. It's just old. And he's like, you know, man, I tried real estate, but how that business works, he said, is for the first 2 years, you're basically knocking on people's doors. He's like, I'm just not going to do that. Fuck that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, you should. If it's a job that requires that level of dedication and discipline to start with, probably means once you get through those 2 years, you're going to be cruising. You're going to be rolling. You're going to be, you know, it's going to be a fuckload easier for you. You know, I love opportunities like that where it's very difficult up front. You know what I mean? Because those are the ones that pay off the best. You know how many people make fucking millions in real estate? No, some of them no high school diploma, certainly no college degrees. Hey, it's one of those things that all it takes is hustle. Just fucking hustle. You know what I mean? I love that kind of opportunity. I'll tell you that this book and podcast shit, that's why I'm doing this. This is my moonshot. This requires me to be real consistent and diligent and habitual about doing stuff that I do and putting out podcasts and supporting the book. And like, it might mean nothing, but it might be a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? It might be that fucking, it's that riverboat gambler thing. Like, let's take a shot at it. Am I willing to live like no one else will? You know what I mean? Most of you are probably afraid to do that big thing that could pay off. Well, I give you, you know, I encourage you to do it. So that's one thing you'll learn. Yeah, the most successful people, they were willing to sacrifice up front to get to where they had to go. You know what I mean? And yeah, you look around, that's a tale as old as time. Most people with a fuck ton of money who are really innovating, they did not start out that way. And everybody's heard the story about Microsoft started in somebody's garage, right? Or Apple did, I think. Microsoft might have been somebody's basement, but there's just a couple guys going, you know what, let's fucking try this thing. And bam. Fuck, I can remember when Amazon was just a place it was an alternative to the school bookstore to get my college textbooks. That's all Amazon, that's all they were, was a bookseller. You guys remember that far back? We're talking 20 years ago. Look at that shit now. Like, that's basically the world Walmart. Like, you can get whatever the fuck you want on there. And they deliver it right to your damn house in 2 days. Sometimes 1 day. That guy's like, oh, I'll see. I'm gonna do books. I'll see if we'll branch outside of books. You know what I mean? The most successful people started very small. And they made it big. You know what I mean? It's just from hustling. Let's see here. Here's the thing that never goes away for you. And we still haven't done the success podcast. I know I haven't talked about that much, but I'm still kind of fleshing out how I'm going to do it. But know this about success for me. My definition of success is measured in exactly how happy I am. And that's it. I mean, you need a few bucks to be comfortable. You need to have some stuff in your life to be, occupy yourself and, but ultimately for me, it's just about being happy. And I encourage you to look at that definition exactly the same way. And this is the fifth thing that you got to make sure that you're doing things that you feel good about, no matter what the money is. And in the book, I talk about this. One of the chapters is on volunteering. I talk about football. Fuck, I don't make any money doing that. I mean, shit, it was like a part-time job all year long and a full-time job in the fall. I might get $1,000 or a couple grand or something. A lot of times I didn't even get that. I mean, I was working for t-shirts and gear. Fuck, I put probably more than I've gotten paid into building this thing that I built for the football program. Anyway, so it's certainly not about the money. My point is this. Do things that make you feel good, especially when you're broke. When you need the money the most, I mean, if you have an opportunity to work and make money, you got to do that. But make sure you're still doing shit that makes you fucking feel good about yourself and about what you're doing in the world. It doesn't cost you anything to help an old lady cross the street. It doesn't cost you anything to help somebody on the side of the road who's stranded. You know what? You're not going to be any less or more broke if you do that, but at least you'll kind of feel better about yourself. I mean, and that's incredibly valuable. I mean, I'll tell you what, I would much rather be, broke, but feeling fucking great and knowing I'm doing my life the right way than the opposite. Just have all the fucking money in the world and I can't find a way to make myself happy. I've certainly had times in my life like that where I'm making great money and I'm unhappy. I've had lots of times when I didn't have, just like when I was in college. I was broke as fuck. Dumpster diving. Happier than a clam. Because I knew I was doing the right shit in my life. And that's incredibly valuable. Certainly a stress reliever. No doubt about that. Gonna make you live longer. All that shit. Again, make sure, especially when you're broke, that you're still doing good things. Things that make you feel good. You're gonna realize that when you're down. Like I told you, when the whole thing when football kind of exploded, I was trying to pay back the world cosmically, like doing all these nice things and helping people out because I felt like I had fucked these guys that were on my football staff. And I felt like I needed to pay that back somehow, like get some more good out in the world. I was really hustling to do that, to help people, to do good things for people. Because I know that when I'm down, when things aren't going well, I'm going to need to do that to help pick myself up. So here's a big one. It kind of goes back to the being resourceful part, but more along the lines of like moving yourself forward. Innovate. When you're down, try doing shit different ways. Again, think about the upside of being down. That's that you can only go up. So that's when you take your fucking chances. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to fucking lose. So give it a shot. You know what I mean? Your mind, truly, your imagination, it's your best asset as a person. I am limited only by my imagination at this point in my life, which is fucking awesome. I wish that you could find yourself in the same place. Like, I'm always just trying to come up with new ideas. Like, I found this, and I'm going to talk about it anyway, even though we don't have a deal, but this clothing company called Troll Co., they call themselves. And their whole thing is dirty hands, clean money. Now, how fucking dead on is that for what I do here with this podcast? And I talk about that all the time. You guys know that I'm spending this summer, now that football has, evacuated from my life, I have all this fucking spare time now. So I'm choosing to fill that by painting houses and building decks and doing all this cool shit with my hands that I haven't really spent a lot of time doing since I was fucking 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I did that to pay for college when I was in my 20s, and I fucking loved it. Like I told you last week, I go out and I work hard all day, I make great money. I drive my old truck home. I have a beer and I fucking relax and I feel so fucking good. I feel so damn good. And it's it's the best feeling in the world. So dirty hands, clean money, right? I talk about it all the time. I actually posted it on my Instagram, a picture of me holding up all these hundos. And one of my clients paid me in cash. My point is that this company, Troll Company, they make all this working man's kind of clothing, blue collar shit, Carhartt, Red Wing boots. They have their own custom clothing line. And their slogan's dirty hands, clean money. My innovation is that I'm going to try to reach out to them, and I already have actually, and I'm going to say, hey, how do we cross promote here? How do I push your brand? How do you push mine? Do we think this could work out? Let's have a lunch. Let's figure it out. I want to talk about what your goals are. I'll talk about mine, and we'll see if they're aligned. I think they are. What can we do? Can I speak to help your brand? Can you put up some posters of my, promote my podcast on your website or something? I don't know. What can we do? How does this work? Let's fucking give it a try. I don't have anything to lose. It's not like I already made $1 million from a book or something from my book, because I haven't. I can only go up. So I'm innovating. I'm trying to find different ways to make it go, go forward. Again, no place to go but up. So you're not going to get any further down, right? So that's a great time to fucking innovate, take some chances, take some risks, give some new shit a try. Again, you might be amazingly successful. You might fail, but who cares? If you fail, you're failing right on the same level. You're not going to get any lower. But man, that's how the future's built, right? By innovating, by trying new shit. Henry Ford, he said, somebody asked him at one point, they said, well, did you build these cars for the people? Is this what the people wanted? He's talking about the Model. They're talking about the Model A or the Model T, whichever one was the one that was the first one that everybody could afford. And he thought about it, and he said to that interviewer, he said, if I'd have asked the people what they wanted, they just said they wanted faster horses. That's it. Like I told you, popular opinion is nothing. It's just popular. If you innovate and you think on your own, you have the freedom of not being tied down by groupthink, not being tied down by worrying what everybody else is going to think about what you're doing. Just fucking do your shit. It might go nowhere, and who cares? But it might be awesome. And that was Henry Ford. He's like, no, I'm not going to make faster horses because that's what the people want. I'm going to do this other thing that nobody's fucking heard of. It's going to blow your fucking minds. And he didn't do it to blow people's minds. He was a businessman. He was just trying to make money. But that dude took chances like crazy. He's an impressive guy. Like, if you look into him, he's got his peccadillos just like everybody else. But, man, how many times he failed before he finally made it with the Ford Motor Company? How many people... Impressive dude. Look into him. But that's the time to innovate, guys, when you're down. Try doing some shit you've never done. See how it goes. Here's the thing you'll learn for sure when you're down. Everyone's going to doubt you that you're going to be able to make it, right? And you know what? I haven't fucking made it. But I've told you, we've talked about the people in your circle and how important they are. I've got lots of people in my life that, I don't know if I'd do that if I were you. Well, you're not me, okay? And that's okay that you think that way. Totally fine. But I'm going to do it because I think I like it. This is a thing I want to do. It's a thing I want to try. So, but even bigger than that, even bigger than other people doubting you, is you doubting yourself. Look at Abraham Lincoln, right? How many times did he fail at all kinds of shit before he made it? And he became fucking president. Really smart guy. He tried all kinds of different shit. You can talk about the Thomas Edison and his light bulb. How many times he failed with that before he finally got the right one? What are we going to do with the electric light at this point, right? Pretty fucking important. You can see I've got a ring light here. Thanks, Thomas Edison. You know what I mean? Thanks for working so hard to make electric light, a thing that we have. Yeah, you're going to fail tons of times before you get to the thing that gets you over the top, And but bigger than other people doubting you is you doubting yourself. Because that's going to happen. You're going to have your down times. And you've got to learn to coach yourself up and go, you know what? Nope, fuck that. If I quit now, if I back down right now, all that shit I did, all these failures will have been for nothing. They won't mean shit when I make it. You know what I mean? It's just like football. You're marching down the fucking field, right? And you're getting beat on every play and you're getting hit, blah, blah. it kind of doesn't mean anything until you get to the end zone. But let me tell you, when you get to that end zone, none of that work meant anything. I mean, like, you're not feeling bad about that anymore. But imagine doing all that work and not getting there, not winning the game, or however you want to look at it. That's the point. All the work, all the effort, all the suffering is for fucking nothing if you quit. You know? At least ride it out to the end and be able to say, you know what? I gave it my best fucking shot. I tried everything I could think of. Walking away feeling like that, it's going to be all right. And you'll probably win if you do that eventually. Here's a big one. You can't... Being thankful is a thing you can't wait for. You can't just wait around for that. You can't wait until, you make $1 million and you have this banquet and you're the man of the year or some shit, and then you're thanking people. Thank people from day one. Anyone who helped you, anyone who supported you. I get texts from people who listen to this, and they give me I get props from people. They're like, "Hey, I love it. It's so great. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm relaxing by myself or whatever." So I need my daily dose of real talk or whatever. I hear all kinds of things from people, and it's positive. And I thank them every fucking time. Thank you so much for, number one, for listening. Number two, for reaching out and telling me about it. Do that from the fucking beginning. Okay? And not just about the thing that you're working on or whatever it is that you've failed at, that you're kind of still failing at, and you haven't made it yet. It's got to be about everything in your life. And we were talking about my buddy last week. We were sitting in the garage, and he was saying how he's really happy with everything in his life right now. And I said that, talking about that instance, that you are not working hard enough in your life if you can't think like he does. If you're not where he is, where you're going. I'm happy with everything in my life. Well, you're not working hard enough then, if that's the case. You know what I mean? If you are where he is, even if you aren't, even if there's lots of things in your life that aren't where you want to be, I bet you there's lots of shit that is, where it's exactly where you want it to be because you worked hard where it is. There are things you accomplished and that you did and that were difficult and you're proud of them. Always feel good about that shit. Fuck, I ran a marathon in 2005. That was a long time ago. Still proud of it. Still a thing I accomplished. It's still a thing that's fucking hard. And when I get into a grind or a jam or something that's not going well, well, fuck, I did that. I can do this. I'll be all right. You know what I mean? And that feeling, incredibly, incredibly powerful when you know that. I've been through way worse shit than this. And even if it wasn't way worse than what you're dealing with, you've been through some shit. And you know that you're going to be fine. You know that you can work hard and get yourself through it. That's incredibly powerful. And as you're doing that again, be fucking thankful. Thankful for the things that you have. Thankful for the things that you have. Thankful for the things that you've accomplished and that you've done. Thankful for the people that are around you. Always be thankful. Yeah. Tell your clients you're thankful for their business, all that kind of shit, whatever you got to do. And this is the most important thing that you will learn when you haven't made it yet, when you have failed, when you're on your back, whatever it is. The most important thing that you will do in your life is to grind, is to consistently do things that move you forward. And, when I go through my book, each one of those chapters, each one of those habits, each one of those behaviors, that's exactly what they are. They are daily fucking things that I do that I know will make me happier, make my life better, get me the fuck out of the hole that I'm in. You know what I mean? That grind is the most important thing you'll ever do. I mean, you'll have client meetings in your life. You'll meet the right person at a social function. There are big things that'll happen in your life that are not a result of grinding. But when you go back to it, when you look underneath those things, they probably are a result of your grinding. Like, you know what I mean? I have so many things in my life that I'm thankful for, and they're all as a result of me just continuing to work. Just fucking grind it, do a podcast every week. Make sure I'm running my business every day and sitting in front of this computer when I'm not up north making money, painting houses. Just fucking grind. Work out every day. Keep myself fit. I'm in good shape, and it's because I fucking work hard at it every day, with few exceptions. That's what it is. I'm good to my people. I try to be. I don't know. You get it. The grind is the most important thing. And I talk about that in the book, that I need to, at the end of the day, be able to lay down and go, this is what I did today, and all these things will move me forward. And so I'm doing all right. And I said last week about how I needed to hear good job. That's me telling myself good job. You know what I'm saying? That's great shit. You got to continue to grind. Fucking being broke, it's actually easy when you just sit there and wallow in it. You know what I mean? You got to hustle to get out of that shit. And how you hustle? It's all these things that I talked about. Innovate, grind, be thankful. These are all things that, again, you're going to learn about yourself and about your life when you go down, when you hit a low spot. Super helpful. Yeah, the grind is the most important thing. If you're doing that in any situation, I guarantee you'll be successful. Be smart about your grind, make good decisions. Just make sure that you're working. You don't quit. You just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and you will get there. It's great shit. So that's it. What you'll learn about yourself and about the world, the upside of failure. These are the things that I've boiled down that you'll get out of being down. My name's Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. I wrote this book called The Jossman Method. You can get it any damn where, and like I've said 100 times, if you can't find it, you can find me on Facebook. I'll fucking meet you somewhere. I'll walk in, buy a beer, I'll hand you a copy for free, and I'm sure you'll be fine with it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, my name's Travis. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope that this helped you in some way to get your shit together. Have a great week.